Good evening. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, thank you. I've been trying for a couple minutes. It wasn't sticking, so better now.
Yeah, you're all good.
Amanda, would you please come get the dogs?
All right, I'm showing 7 o'clock. I would like to call to order the June 15th, 2020 regular meeting of the Tarpon Springs Planning and Zoning Board. Can we have a roll call, please?
Kim, I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I think Kim is on mute.
Oh,
I'm sorry about that.
are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I called the meeting to order. Can we have a roll call?
Yes. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Give me 1 second.
Hey, my screen just went off. Can y'all still hear me?
You're fine. We see you.
Okay.
Well, Great, sorry, it changed on me. I'll be
Can you
quiet.
hear me? Can you
Yes,
all hear me? Okay, Mr. Hasse? Mr. Seaman?
Here.
Ms. McCumber?
Here.
Mr. Vesey?
Here,
Mr. Stavropoulos? Ms. Vihill? Mr. Kouskoudis?
Present.
Mr. Morgan?
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we have a quorum. The second item on our agenda is the approval of the May 18th, 2020 meeting minutes. Do we have any comments on the minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, could we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Mr. Kouskoudis?
Yes.
Ms. Vihill?
here,
Mr. Stavropoulos? Mr. Vesey?
Yes.
Ms. McCumber?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes. All right. Number 3 on our agenda is the quasi judicial announcement and swearing of speakers. Would our attorney please read the quasi judicial announcement?
Of course. This is a quasi-judicial proceeding where the Planning and Zoning Board acts in a quasi-judicial rather than a legislative capacity. At a quasi-judicial hearing, it is not the board's function to make law, but rather to apply law that has already been established. In a quasi-judicial hearing, the board is required by law to make findings of fact based upon the evidence presented at the hearing and apply those findings of fact to previously established criteria contained in the Code of Ordinances in order to make a legal decision regarding the application before it. The board may only consider evidence at this hearing that the law considers competent, substantial, and relevant to the issues. If the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has met the criteria established in the Code of Ordinance, then the board is required by law to find in favor of the applicant. By the same token, if the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has failed to meet the criteria established in the Code of Ordinance, then the board is required by law to find against the applicant. Are there any members of the board wishing to disclose any ex parte communications or conflicts of interest this evening? Okay, I see none. And I believe we only have one applicant this morning. Mr. Chair, would you like me to swear in everybody all at once today?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anyone wishing to speak this evening, if you could please raise your right hand to be sworn. I believe the applicant, is that Mr. McManus?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. McManus, I cannot see you, but I trust that you have your right hand raised. Do you
Yes.
swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, so sworn.
All right. Item 4 on our agenda is application 20-53. It's a conditional use permit to construct a single-family residence at 119 East Park Street in the T4C residential high transect of the special area plan. Could we have the staff report, please?
yes, Pat McNeese, Principal Planner. And I'd like to share my screen and do a brief slideshow with this. So hopefully this will work. Here goes. Let's see. Can you see the slideshow? It's entitled Planning and Zoning Board, June 15th.
Yes.
Okay. This is a proposed single-family residence to be located at 119 East Park Street. That is located between Hibiscus Street and North Safford Avenue. It's in the T4C Residential High District. And let's see if I can advance. Okay, this is the location. And it is also in the Uptown Character District of the Special Area Plan. And you've seen a couple of these in the past, and we'll just go through the review criteria real quick. What this is this is in the residential high district, which encourages higher density and really a variety of housing products, townhomes, apartments, duplexes, all those types of products. Those are all encouraged in this T4C residential high district. So a single family home comes to you under this code as a conditional use. With respect to your review criteria, the design of the single family home complies with the performance standards of the T4C district. And there is a, staff has evaluated the setbacks, which this code wants to be very narrow. It only calls for 5-foot setbacks on single family. They're larger than that, but this applicant is proposing a 70% frontage build out. The staff feels that the intent of the code is met on the setbacks. This is located near other like uses. There is another single family home on the road on this street. And just going to show you the pictures of the location. This is the lot up in the upper left corner, and then just a view along the street, which Google Street View incorrectly marks as Johnson Drive, but this is East Park Street. There is a single family home to the east, commercial, obviously up by Alt 19. City has stormwater pond across the street. So, and then there's other vacant property in the area. So this is expected to be compatible with the other uses in the area. It is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. It's not located within the historic district or on an environmentally sensitive site. It does meet the standards of the T4C district. In order to help with that frontage build out, staff is asking to require the landscaping that is required by the code as a condition of this, approving this. So we feel it will fit the character of the neighborhood. It does not need extension of public services. Those are available, and the city can provide adequate public facilities. This was properly noticed, and we had no objections or no comments really to the application. This is just a quick layout of the development. As I mentioned, the applicant is showing some landscaping, but that landscaping will need to be, or some landscaping will need to be in what's called the front layer, which is the front setback of the project. Another condition that we're looking at for this would be to address the sidewalk code, which will be a requirement. And again, this is single family. It's considered compatible because this is an older plat. This special area plan wants to encourage repackaging, consolidation of some of these older platted areas. And we have had some, you've seen some, like Athens Place Apartments, Pine Street Apartments, but you know, it's not everybody's doing that. So once in a while we'll have a single family come in. The conditional use kind of puts the owners and the neighbors on notice that, hey, long-term future land use wise, this is really seen as developing into a higher residential density with different products, so that people know coming in that that's what this is going to, is really projected to look at long-term. So staff is recommending approval with those conditions, that the applicant meet the landscaping and sidewalk codes, and the conditional use will expire within 1 year if a permit is not pulled. The applicant has applied for the permit. Are there any questions?
This is Mike Kuskudis. These are these typical non-conforming lots that are basically peppered all over the city, correct?
Yes. Now, in this case, it's in the special area plan, so it's technically not non-conforming anymore. There's no minimum lot size really, is kind of the short answer to that in the,
All right, thank you.
And I mean, it appears to me a small enough site that it would be difficult to do much more than a single family residence on it, really. Correct?
yes, that's correct. That's why I mentioned really to do those other products, you either need to kind of consolidate some lots or maybe at the most you could do a duplex. But yeah,
Yeah.
you are right. It's tough to get anything much more than a single family on these individual lots.
Are there any other questions for staff? Seeing none, then would the applicant like to make any comments?
No, I'm very happy with what you guys have just covered. Thank you.
Okay.
That in mind, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the applicant's application.
I think that we have to ask for public comment.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Do we have any public?
At this time, we have no one in attendance, Chair.
All right, in that case, then we'll close public comment. And if there's no rebuttal or board comments, then I think we're ready for your motion, Mike.
Then I go ahead and restate my motion to approve the applicant's request.
I will second that.
Could we have a roll call, please?
Kim,
Mr.
you're-
Morgan? Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Ms. Vihill,
Yes.
Mr. Vesey,
Yes,
Mrs. McCumber,
Yes.
Mr. Kouskoudis,
Yes.
Mr. Seaman.
Yes. All right, motion carries. That brings us to item number 5. Do we have any staff comments?
I've got two items. The first is this idea of doing a quick slideshow for you all on some of these applications. What we're trying to do is maybe assist you with some of the information you guys have wanted. So just try to round out these applications, show a picture of the site, put some of the materials up on a screen so that it's easier to discuss them. This was a real quick one I put together today. It's only a couple of slides, and it's not like I would want to do a long slideshows on each one, but maybe just throw up the pictures of the lot or the aerial or whatever. Just wanted to get your feedback on that and see if that's something you're interested in having going forward to assist you, whether it's on the Zoom or in the auditorium.
I mean, I think it's helpful, and as projects that are more complicated come to us, it would be even more helpful, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
Just,
Great.
I'd also like to see the page number. So if you have a slide up that might have a diagram or a map or something like that, if you could reference it to a page, it's very easy when you're in the meeting and actually like flipping through pieces of paper. But when you're scrolling through a PDF of 20, 30, 40 pages, just having that reference, or even if you refer to, we would like to do it in conditions of XYZ, that you will find on page whatever, that we can easily find it on our electronic version. Would be
Okay.
helpful.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Pat, I'm a real big fan of hand puppets. So if you could do anything with puppets,
I've got a dog
I
here.
couldn't help myself. I do like it. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Okay. Second item would be, I've actually got three things. Second item would be just to let you all know, we do have our planning and zoning director that started in May is Renee Vincent.
Oh, she's back?
Yeah, she was formerly planning and zoning director in the
Yeah.
city. And she went to Pinellas County and now she's back. So I just wanted to let you all know that. You'll be seeing and hearing from her as we go forward. And then the third item, hopefully you got my reminders. The other thing I wanted to do to help you all with seeing things ahead of time is to see that TRC agenda. I've been sending you the link. And of course, as we discussed, it's got everything on the TRC agenda, several of which items you never see, like administrative things like facade grants and all that. But it gives you a chance to kind of peruse what the TRC is looking at. And if any of you have individual questions for me about anything, I'll be glad to talk with you about it. Even, if you want to know where an application is in the process or anything, just give me a call or an email. I'll be glad to update you.
What is the status with COVID and everything of actually attending those meetings, or are those being done on Zoom also?
Those are being done on Zoom also.
Okay, great. Well, I would be interested in being able to sign in on those if you could send me the sign-in information for those.
Okay, yes, and that will be posted with each meeting. So each
Okay.
meeting.
To me, it depends on what's on the agenda. If it's something complicated that's going to come to us, I'd like to sit in. If there's nothing complicated, it's probably not necessary, but.
Right, that's up to each of you. Thank you. That's it.
You said there was a third item, I thought.
That was the third. I
That
forgot.
was-
I was gonna
okay.
tell you about Renee starting.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. All
Thank you.
right. Do we have any board comments in that case?
Oh, just nice to see Renee coming on board. Renee was very talented when she was with the city. I enjoyed working with her, and glad to see that position is filled with somebody who's competent and knows Tarpon Springs.
And yeah, somebody that really has familiarity with Tarpon Springs. All right. Well, if there's no further board comments, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll go ahead and move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
We're out of here, guys. See you
Thank
next.
you.
Next month.
Night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Is there possibly next month we'll be having live meetings, or are we still going to be doing Zoom?
There's no word on live meetings at this time, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No, keep us posted.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.